Hey guys, it's Edwin here and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'll be answering this question of why is it that it's so painful when you return to reality after that daydream. Actually, one of the most common questions asked in forums is why does it really feel so painful after coming back from the daydream? Yes, the dream is enjoyable. Spend like an hour, 2 hours, or 30 minutes in that daydream, in that imaginary world, and it's really amazing. But that return, that immediate return to reality, is always the most painful experience for every daydreamer. To the point where that's the main reason actually why people want to quit daydreaming. So actually, the first reason is this emotional disconnect. You see, when you are a daydreamer and you are in this imaginary world, you feel connected to the characters. You feel connected to those cool characters in that dream. You feel connected to that reality of the imaginary world. Like everything is just going well, and you just have this emotional connection. But now, when you come back to this real world, there's just this disinterest with what's happening. You're not interested with, let's say, with your job. You're not interested with your life. Your life is not having that positive vibes similar to what's happening in that daydream. So because of this emotional disconnection between between you and your real life, you feel bad about yourself, or you feel like it's better to be in that daydream. So you feel so it's painful because you try to compare the connection you have to the daydream with the connection you have in your real life. And when you come back to your real life, there's a disconnection. So that's the first reason. The second reason is the dream offers a form of escapism. So actually, one of the main reasons, so actually, like, maladaptive daydreaming is a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism for anxiety, stress, or just those unhealed wounds you are carrying deep within you. So when you go into this imaginary world, or when your mind pulls you into this imaginary world, you'll find that it's a safe refuge for you. It's a place where you feel joyful, you might feel loved, you might feel worthy, you might feel just good about yourself. But now, all those things which you are unconsciously or consciously running away from, they're always there. They never really go away. They're still in you. So regardless of how long you spend in that daydream, you still have to come back and face those things. But now when you come back, it becomes more painful because you are in a place where you're not facing those negative things. You're not facing your anxieties. You're not facing your stress. But now when you come back, you have to face them, and that's why, like, it's really painful because you are in this high moment and then you come back to this low moment. It's just the same thing as when you are drinking. When you are drinking, you really feel good about yourself. You are so high. You are so happy, ecstatic, euphoric. But now, after that drink, you realize that actually you still have to face reality. You have to pay your bills, you have to pay your debt, you have to pay your loan, you have to go to school, you have to do all those mundane chores. So that brings about a painful feeling. The other reason is loss of control. You see, when you're in your dream world, you always feel in control of what's happening. You always feel in control of the story, of the intricate storylines, of the imagination. You always feel in control of the people there, of the characters. It's a place where, like, you are in control of your life. It's imaginary, but you are in control of your daydream because it's happening in your mind. But now, once you come back or you snap out of that daydream, you realize that in your life you don't have control. Let's say you don't have control over the activity, you don't have control over people respecting you, of people stepping on your boundaries, or of people hurting you, or of just your personal life, your responsibilities. So when you realize that you don't have control, it becomes painful because you realize that you have to also regain control of your real life. The fourth reason is idealized scenarios. So in a daydream, actually, you make these cool scenarios about life. Mostly, if your daydream is filled with these positive connotations or positive vibes, so you make these idealized scenarios of a perfect, let's say you might be having a perfect relationship, a perfect friendship, a good job, or just doing an adventure which you really enjoy. So when you come back from that daydream, because of what you've idealized, you've made this beautiful thing in your dream, you come back to your real life, you realize that it's not the same. The scenario of your life is not the same. Let's say you're doing that mundane job. Let's say your parents are a pain in your ass. Or let's say just your life is not really where you want to be. So when you compare these instances of your idealized scenarios or your idealized self and your current relationships, you start to realize that actually there's a distance between them. They are so different, and that's why it really feels painful to the point that you just want to go back to that daydream, because reality is not the same thing as what you are idealizing. The fifth thing is time discrepancy. So a daydream consumes your time. It can consume 30 minutes of your day, 40 minutes, 1 hour, even sometimes 8 hours of your day. So when you lose this time, of course, this is the time you could be using to do other activities like let's say brushing your teeth, taking care of yourself, self-care, going to school, working, taking that extra job, or just taking care of your children, or just doing something which you're supposed to do to better your life in this real life. So when that time is taken from you and you realize that you've lost time because of the daydream, of course you'll feel ashamed and feel embarrassed, and also feel like you are wasting a lot of time in that daydream to the point that you want to stop it, because you know that if you keep wasting that time, you'll end up losing more money, you'll end up losing your relationships, and you'll even end up getting sick just because of the time you are spending in that imaginary world. So that's why it's really painful when you realize that actually, and actually that's why most people also feel guilty after that daydream, because they feel that they need to stop. They are losing time, like they are addicted to this daydream and they need to stop it because they are losing a lot of time daydreaming. The last reason is loneliness. So one common theme for most maladaptive daydreamers is isolation, because you are afraid of sharing with someone what you're going through, or you are not able to focus or concentrate in your relationship, because relationships actually may require some effort, right? Like calling someone, going for coffee, listening to them. So because of these mundane things of relationships, which a relationship requires, you might find yourself just isolating yourself so that you can go to these dream ones. And when you isolate yourself from others, of course you'll feel lonely. You'll feel that no one is there for you. You'll feel that no one is there to listen to you. You have no friends. You have no romantic relationships, or your friends are becoming distant because you are creating relationships in an imaginary world. But in this real world, where you experience relationships of rejection, people betraying you, you kind of feel that it's not the best place for you, and you always prefer the relationship in your imaginary world. So when you come back, you realize that actually there's a bit of emptiness, and you are a bit lonely, and you don't have any good friends. So that's why it might really feel so painful when you snap out of that daydream. So those are the common reasons why you might really feel a lot of pain after snapping back from that daydream. So the best thing to do is, yes, don't beat yourself up because you are daydreaming, but focus on those painful things you are feeling after the daydream, because that daydream you're experiencing will not be forever. You cannot daydream for 24 hours a day. If it was possible, that would be an amazing thing, but you understand that you have to come back to reality. So when you come back to reality, instead of beating yourself up, just look at, hey, how can I improve my relationships? How can I use my time better? How can I manage these daydream? That's how now you become an empowered, adaptive daydreamer. Like, you know, you are experiencing these daydreams and it's taking much of your time and ruining your relationship, but now you are taking full responsibility of your real life. The same way you are taking full responsibility of your daydream. Take full responsibility of your life, and at least you will find yourself managing this daydream. Hope you found that informative, guys. If you have any questions with regards to daydreaming, feel free to send me a message on Facebook, and I'll be glad to answer with my best of knowledge. Until next time, have a nice day.